he knew it all the time.
Oh yeah, the whole university.
Yeah, and to be
Yeah.
fighting it like this, man, it's like this is getting ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It's really getting ridiculous, and there are 9 other players. So I'm wondering who are the other players that may be playing in the NFL that are caught up in the sexual allegations at LSU, man.
It's crazy, bro. It seemed like it's, when it comes down, we thought years ago that we got past this with allowing college players just to kind of run, but we really didn't. We really didn't.
No, it's just that who can hide it better than
Yeah.
basically, because on college campuses, this is an issue. This is a big issue. Sexual assault on college campuses, period, is a big issue. But when you're an athlete and your school is making a lot of money, they cover it up more as opposed to if you're just a regular student against another student, then it gets, it gets more press and things of that sort. But it's just a lot of covering up, man, with these major universities, and they're trying to save their bottom line with all that money. But if you got him and 9 other players, and if those players are playing in the NFL, you know how devastating that will be, that the NFL teams that drafted these players didn't investigate and do their investigation to see whether or not what was happening, along with LSU not really exposing this and getting rid of those players. And can it affect their championship from last year?
Well, we know the NCAA is weak, so I don't know. But I will say this about the NFL. If LSU wasn't reporting or talking about it, I don't think you can kind of look at the NFL and blame them in a sense like they knew, because they do their investigation. But if it's not being reported or it's not out there in the front, it almost takes the NFL off the griddle.
NFL, man, they do thorough investigations of these players, man. They got to save their franchise, and anything that goes against it, they can't touch. And they do a thorough investigation of these guys from the time they're probably walking to the time they're walking into the NFL, because they have to be that thorough. And I just can't see, and probably Washington figured it out and got rid of him. As soon as he did something else, they were like, okay, you're gone.
Yeah, but if they knew, that's kind of like making my point. I think Washington got rid of him based on what he did when he was in through our organization, and they just didn't want to spend any more, time with him. But if they kind of knew, I don't think they would have took the chance with him, bro. I just don't think a lot of organizations now wouldn't take the opportunity to take the chance.
Welcome to the First 40 with the Goon Squad. You got Black Thor over there. You got Ice Water over there. Yours truly, Puma. Hey, watch, share, subscribe, comment on our show. Watch the whole show. We have bonus material at the end of the show. Just watch us, comment, share with your friends. You'll be glad that you did. How you doing over there, Black Thor?
Hey, man, it's always real in this, man. How you feeling?
All right. Ice Water, how you doing, man?
Doing well, brother. Doing well.
All right, we're going to start this show with talking about some sports and some of the things that's been going on. Ice Water, give me your eye test of players, games, or things that happened in Week 10 that is noteworthy to talk about on our show.
I mean, I don't want to jump out front too much, but I got to give it up to that little dude. That little dude, Kyler Murray, man, is every week is really showing me something. But as much as I want to give him credit and their team overall, I'm telling you what, that damn DeAndre Hopkins, dude. Houston, we have a problem. You had a problem, and you let him go. You let that dude. He was amazing. That catch is one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my entire life. We went up in between everybody. They were pulling the ball on him. He grabbed it and just brought it down, man. That was amazing. That was amazing. Definitely impressed too with the Miami Dolphins. We're just one about one guy. Every week it seems like they get a little better as a team and they play hard and they're improving. Definitely improved. I'm impressed with them with their win over the Chargers. And I'm gonna leave you guys with the other one. But the one question I do have: what in the heck is wrong with the Baltimore Ravens? I don't know what's going on there. I didn't get a chance to watch the game last night, but I looked at some stats, and the fact that when Willie Snead is your leading receiver, they happened to them in the playoffs last year. Hollywood Brown wasn't be able to get some things. Also, one of the leading receivers was the tight end.
Yeah.
I think they got a problem over there, and I think they need to figure it out. And I think the opponents are finding out what they need to do to play them on defense and basically shrinking their offense. Because if he can't pass the ball, I'm talking about Lamar Jackson, then he's starting to run and everybody's shrinking in on him. And for them to lose like they did to the Patriots, I think that is a significant, that shows us, that signals a problem in Baltimore.
Yeah, I watched that game last night with Baltimore. They are covering Hollywood Brown and the tight end real closely because they know that those are the two players that Jackson wants to go to. And so he can't find anybody else that's getting open. The other team, Black, you might want to talk about this. What happened to the Seattle Seahawks?
I'm not surprised, bro, because they were winning with a little bit of smoke and mirrors and Russell early in the season because that defense is horrible, bro. It's amazing to think that Pete Carroll's defense, where it was before, the Legend of Doom, Boom, or whatever, it's not the legend of anything, but that defense just gives up way too many points. And then with Russell, you can't expect him to play Houdini every single weekend. And it just caught up. It just caught up in the sense to where I think they're going to start to see them flounder. I'm gonna touch on the Ravens. I think that's their problem. People are double up, but I also think the league has caught up with them what they do, and they didn't come back with anything different this year. I think they kind of felt, and then you kind of heard it last year or early in the season when the quarterback said, we weren't ready for Tennessee, and they thought they were just going to kind of step back in the season, automatically elevate themselves back to the playoffs. And you got to realize, man, in the offseason, a lot of times that's where games are won because these coaches, they take time, they go over it, they look, and they kind of find new ways to play you. So if you're not doing some things different as a team, as a player, you see what's happening with the Ravens. And Bill Belichick, he's going to take away what you want to do. That's just what he's mastered at. All these years, he's going to take away what you want to do and force you to do something that you're not used to doing. We saw on display last night. Another team, man, that's kind of falling, Tennessee Titans. What the hell is going on with them?
Yeah.
I mean, this team had it clicking until they played the Steelers, and it's like they're falling apart right in front of your eyes. The injury that Drew Brees took, what's going to go on with the Saints? Where he has a punctured lung, his ribs are fractured. He may not play again the rest of the season. So that's a team to keep an eye on. Green Bay, I watched them play the Panthers yesterday. Not the Panthers, I'm sorry, Jacksonville. And I know a couple weeks ago I said the Jacksonville coach might be in trouble. And I got to go back and eat my words, man, because in spite of whatever's going on with that team, they draft well and they play hard every single week. I can't say the same thing about the Chargers because I don't know what's going on with the Chargers, man. I have no clue what's going on with the Los Angeles Chargers, San Diego Chargers, whatever. But there was some talk, man, after the Titans game. And I this is what happens a lot. People live in the moment. They were saying that the quarterback for the Colts, I can't think of his name right now.
Rivers? Rivers?
Yes. That he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I said the same thing. And I mean, if you're going to start just liking people because they've been around for a while and they haven't done much, then you know what? Open up the Hall of Fame and just start putting everybody in. Because you can't just put people in based on, I mean, has he been a decent quarterback? Yes. But think about the year he came out with, the other quarterbacks he came out with, and what they accomplished and what he has accomplished. He's not even close. He's not even close. So, we got to stop playing in that moment, looking around. I'll say this and get out of the way, man. The Texans, I know we talked about this maybe last week, and I think I said that Eric Bieniemy, that's a team we're going to go to. Offensively, yes. But the guy that they fired, he did a horrible job with that team as being a general manager. There's nothing left in the cupboard, bro. That team is just depleted. On the defensive side, they can't even tackle. Seriously. So it's going to take a lot. And they're going to end up wearing that quarterback out. And I thought this too. Deshaun should have thought twice about signing an extension because that team is going to hit rock bottom very soon, real soon. And we're not even going to recognize it. I got to give kudos to the Giants, man. I did pick them this week. I went out on a limb and anything. I'm not saying that, they're going to be blockbusters, whatever, but I think this coach has this team playing. Even some games they lost, they battle and they play. And that's as far as, a semi-fan I am of the Giants. That's what you want to see from your team is to show up, give an effort. Even if you lose, put an effort out in the field where you try to play and try to win. And the Giants been doing that week out and week in. So in that sense, I'm happy to see. But It was a good week of football again. A very good week of football. I don't know what's going on with Green Bay. I'm a little shaky about them. I'm not sure how they're going to play out. Cleveland, I know they won, but I still don't see them as being a team that is going to kind of be there when it's all said and done. No. And I think at some point they may want to go back in the draft and find themselves another quarterback.
Now, a couple weeks ago, going to win that division.
You said who's going to win it?
I said the Giants going to win that division.
It looks like they can now. I mean, it really does. I mean, it's if you take down the Eagles,
yeah,
Washington has nothing really going for them. I don't know how Detroit let them battle back and come in that game yesterday because that made no sense at all. That's another team. I don't care because they won or not. It's time to go in a different direction in Detroit. It just is. They needed a shake up and kind of go in a different. I don't know if they will or not, but yeah, because with the Cowboys, with the injuries that they have in the front line, not playing like they used to play. Yeah, the Giants, they might win 6 games and take the division. It's a possibility. Yeah. And end up in the playoffs. Isn't that something?
Yeah. I got to give kudos to Daniel Jones. He rushed for 9 attempts and 64 yards and 1 touchdown. So he's using his legs. They should have beat Philadelphia the last time when I picked them, but chose to beat them this time. And he threw for 244 yards. So I have to give him credit. Ice Water, who gets the game ball this week? I know who you're gonna pick. I know the obvious pick. Everybody wants to pick with that game with Hopkins. And that's going to be on the highlights forever because in basketball or football, they always tell the receivers, get the ball at its highest point. And they don't tell defensive backs that. That's why those defensive backs jump too soon, and Hopkins was able to steal that ball. But who gets the game ball?
I'm going to say Hopkins. And I know people love Murray, and he made the play. He ran around, and that's great. You made the throw, but you got to catch that ball, bro. I mean, you can throw the ball long and deep as you want to, but for him to rise up and grab it between 3 defenders, he definitely get. And you win the game, DeAndre Hopkins.
Who gets the game ball, Black?
I'm gonna give it to Charles, baby. I mean, he came off the injury reserve list and ran like a couple of pit bulls were chasing him. So I'm gonna give it to Nick Chubb, man. I mean, he ran that ball yesterday, bro. Nick Chubb.
Yeah. I'm going to give my game ball to Jones, the running back from Tampa Bay, at 23 attempts, 192 yards with a touchdown, and really kind of pushed Tampa Bay over the Panthers Sunday and giving Tom Brady some respite back there. Instead of bringing them back there over 30 times to pass it, giving them a running game that they can count on. Notice I didn't say Fournette. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he was yesterday. It was Jones's game yesterday, and they really needed him. They doubled up on the Panthers. Any other thoughts, Ice, on the NFL?
Yeah, I was looking at something, and I had to think about it. I'm looking at Tampa Bay with Tom Brady trying to move the ball around. I think he's finally realizing that he has to throw Mike Evans the ball. And, they said he likes big receivers. And I was looking at something. I was like, I know he was in love with Randy Moss, but Randy Moss, when I looked at it, Randy Moss was 6'4", 210, right?
If
that. Yeah, but right. But Mike Evans is 6'5", almost 225, And I'm like, you might want to start looking at him because he's a player. I don't know what their problem is, what the situation is, but nobody's gonna make the plays like that guy in the right situation. If they really want to make a move and move forward in the postseason, whatever they need to do this season, he needs to get on the same accord as Mike Evans.
All right, Black. Any other thoughts on the NFL?
Wow. I'll say this before I say anything else, man. I've been impressed with the season itself. You never know. This is one season, and I don't know if it's because of what's going on with everything with the virus, but it's been one season from week to week. You really don't know, bro. You show up and watch a football game, and what you think you might see, you just may not see. What team you think might dominate just may not dominate. So to me, I like that. I like that every week, man, even though your picks may go awry, you're not going to see something that you thought you might was going to see. I was impressed the way New England stepped up last night and played Baltimore. I mean, I kind of wrote them off, kind of thought they was kind of gone and, they weren't going to kind of have that fire them when whatever you think that's going to happen, man. They seem like they go back in the science room and come up with some stuff, and they come out and they play with vigor, man. That's what they did last night. So may sound strange, but I respect that.
Yeah. Do you think that I'll throw this to the both of you? Do you think New England has a shot? Because it seems like no matter what you give Belichick to work with, he puts a recipe together, put a team out there, and they battle and they win. And I even wrote off New England after what they've been doing in the last few weeks. But do you think they can make it back, Ice?
I don't think so. I mean, particularly think about that division. You think about you think about what's going on Buffalo when they kind of try to show up in Miami. I'm serious. I mean, dude, I'm going to be waiting to see that game, Miami versus New England. I'm telling you, Miami is just. I like their energy. I like the way they come at it. They're young. Got a young quarterback, and they're hungry. They want to win. They want to win, and I think that's going to be enough. I think New England's going. They might if they do beat them, it'll be because they're experienced in Belichick. But I would take my shot with Miami. So I don't think that they're going to. I mean, 1 week is great, but the question is, can they be consistent? And I'm not sure if that's the case. We talked about their deficiency at wide receiver. We don't know who the hell's running back, Burkhead to James White. I don't think there's enough there. Maybe once every other week, kind of like Kirk Cousins, but no.
Yeah, New England got another running back, Harris, coming out the backfield, and he's running pretty strong. Black, what are the Patriots fans saying up there in New England?
They're still quiet, bro. They still quiet because they don't believe. They don't believe. I have to kind of echo what I said, man. I think this is a Dolphins division, bro. I know Buffalo kind of makes it look, like it's theirs from time to time, but almost like when the Patriots play the Dolphins, it's gonna be like them looking in the mirror. Not the same type of team, but that team that the Dolphins are playing very disciplined, effective football, bro. And there's no stars. They're all just playing together. They're playing hard. Even the quarterback, man, you watched him. You kind of forget he's out there because the team is just kind of doing what they have to do. So it's going to be tough. That game is going to come down to will. Of course, Belichick will play a part, but I think it's the Dolphins in the division. I think that they're going to start to win some games where they're going to separate themselves from the Patriots to where I think the Bills are going to be a division, might get in as a wild card. But I think the Dolphins are going to take that division.
Okay. Well, let's go to college football. And Ice, you have Northwestern and Indiana undefeated in the Big Ten. This is the Zario world in college football. And there were a few good teams, good games last week that people hopefully they tuned into. The Miami Virginia Tech was a good game, so nail biter towards the end. A lot of good games last week. But give me your eye test, man. And what do you think about Northwestern and Indiana? Indiana has a big test against Ohio State this coming week.
Yeah. What can you say? Indiana, it seems as if they're ready. They had a test against Michigan State. They handled the business. They shut them out, and they're getting ready for the next step. So definitely impressed by that. You only know until they walk on the field to see what happens. The other thing, too, is I know we don't like to give them too much credit, but I was impressed by Notre Dame. I was. They did not let down. They handled BC, and BC's a decent team. Handled them pretty easy. Also, I know it's every other week and it's a lot of points, but Florida, the way they beat Arkansas is a good team too. So those are games that kind of really got me going a little bit too. And I have to mention it just because you mentioned Western Indiana being undefeated. The way that Wisconsin shellacked Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I am surprised that I didn't wake up this morning and see Harbaugh without a job at Michigan. And they're saying that they're going to wait because he is one of the family, wait until the end of the season to do it. But he has to go. I mean, you can't come up with an excuse. You can't be anybody in the Big Ten. This is a shortened season. Same with Penn State. It's been quiet over there. Penn State, 0-4. Black, what's your eye test on college football?
I'm going to Michigan too, man, because it's like Michigan, how much longer? And I kind of thought too this past weekend after that beatdown that he wasn't going to make it. I thought Sunday by sure they would basically be at a press conference, thanking him for what he's done. I'm just amazed, man, that he hasn't been able to recruit, get the players there that he needs. And this is Michigan, bro. This is not East Carolina or Coast Carolina. It seemed to me he has done a horrible job recruiting the players that he's need, the coaching. And I saw somebody say somewhere he can make it back in the NFL. And I'm not sure about that. I'm just not sure. I'm just not totally sure because Harbaugh he's unless he goes with his brother. His brother, but Harbaugh is kind of like a rare duck, and he showed that in San Fran, and people ain't forgot that yet, bro. So this just don't. I don't think he's one of those guys that the NFL is gonna be waiting to kind of bring him back in. I'm just not sure about that. Don't look now, but Notre Dame is number 2, and they're playing like it, bro. They're playing like it number 2, and we're gonna see what happens. But maybe at some point they bring us back to what we know about Notre Dame. But for now, they're looking damn good. And Florida, Florida. What can you say? They're sitting at number 6. They're gonna try to get back in there, and I think they just may. Florida looking very good, bro. But those are three here. Those three I kind of count on. But at what point? Wait to end the year, what the case may be. You can't come back with Harbaugh next year because Michigan has to stand for something, bro. And right now, that's cool. That's cool when it comes to college football. That's a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I'm going to run down the AP top 25. You have Alabama still at number 1, followed by Notre Dame, Ohio State, Clemson at number 4, Texas A&M. A lot of people didn't see them coming, but they're there. Black already mentioned Florida at number 6, followed by Cincinnati, BYU, Indiana, Wisconsin, moving up in the charts, followed by Oregon, Miami of Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Marshall, who won in their 50th anniversary of the plane crash that killed their team 50 years ago, followed by Coastal Carolina, Iowa State, Oklahoma. Northwestern moves 4 spots up to the number 19 spot, followed by USC. Liberty, I did not say that wrong. Liberty is ranked number 21, followed by Texas. Texas found their way back in the top 25. Auburn, Louisiana, and Tulsa. But I want to get to the story, Black, of LSU and the sexual abuse allegations with Geis, who is not in the league right now. He used to play for the Washington football team, and 9 other players that are being accused of sexual assault with LSU. It seems like we do this story every year with a major university, and I keep saying every year, this is a major problem on college campuses in the United States and maybe globally, I don't know, but I know in college sports with the big time programs, this is a problem they seem to cover up. What are your thoughts about this latest allegation?
I'm gonna jump back for a second because I remember a couple of years ago, Rolling Stone did a story on, I think it was Virginia, and it wasn't based around college football, just based around women being sexually assaulted. And the university came back and threw dirt on it and act like it wasn't true. But I remember reading that article, man. And Rolling Stone, the magazine is like this, one of those big magazines you got to kind of flip. And it's a lot to read. And the more I read, I was like, man. And you thought, and they said this goes on at a lot of universities, but it doesn't get the attention. And when I came across this story today by LSU, it hit me in the back of the head, bro. I was happy that they won the championship. But that put a bad taste in my mouth. It just did. It just puts a bad taste to realize that the people there that's supposed to be reporting, doing the right thing, are looking away and just basically want a successful football team. You can say in a way, okay, that's the way it's done, but it's time for that to change, bro. Just time for it to change. And it's sad that it hasn't. Like you said, every year we talk about this to some form or degree, to some university, but it hasn't. So it makes you wonder. You say about the other football players, if in the NFL, what will happen? Because if those names come out, at some point they will, then the media is going to walk up to them. They're going to walk up to these franchises. Some of these franchises in the NFL going to feel a little bit of pressure to say, you know what, I'm going to release you. It can have some long arms, bro. It can have some long arms. So it's going to be real interesting. But it's just amazing that, these young men, and these young students, they go to these schools, these big names to give. Some of them just go on there to just get the education, and these women will be preyed upon. And the people that you trust to do the right thing all the time are failing these students, bro, with no conscience. That's amazing. That right there, I find is just be truly amazing.
Ice, the article I read with writer Alex Scarborough talks about how Darius Geis and former football players, they either ignored those complaints or denied the victim's request for protection due to these sexual allegations. What are your thoughts about this?
It's really sad that it's taking place. But as it was stated earlier, a lot of times these things that go uncovered and covered up by the schools because of who it involves. And when the team's winning and the program's doing well, then of course things happen and people look the other way. I mean, I hate to put it out there, but hell, people kind of knew what the hell was going on at Penn State. And I know that's totally different because it's women and men, but you had a situation where a man was the coach there, then he left, and they allowed him to come back on campus with little boys. Well, you know what he was doing. It was no secret. So it's really shameful. It's sad. The only thing too is the one thing that really is bothersome to me is it almost reminds me of any scandal or something, even like in sports, particularly like in baseball, whatever, where they wait for so long to come out with these to unveil. Yeah, I was just saying that with LSU and other things like this was really sad to me is the fact that we find out about things like this so late, right? And then when you go into it, it's years later, and I don't know how quickly they do it, but then you get these whistleblowers and stuff like that too. And then you go deeper and deeper, and then it's like, I wouldn't say it's old news because the victims never get over it, but it's just amazing how that comes out. And then when these allegations come up, it's like, okay, now what you want us to do now? And I think that's what the NFL struggles with sometimes too, because unless you have concrete evidence that shows such and such did this and such says this and goes on and on and on, then they're kind of like, I don't really know if we really want to cross that bridge unless there's, evidence that is just blatantly shown. So I think that happens a lot. So I don't know. I understand that I think the schools need to really do a better job of trying to deter this from happening, but I'm wondering when and how, if they ever will.
Okay, I don't want to sound insensitive when I ask this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my thought when I saw this today, though. It doesn't seem like this problem is going to really go away unless there's a real big name that has to be taken down for this. Am I off base with that?
I say yes. And this is the reason why. And this is the reason why probably it continues to go on and on and on. Because the NCAA does nothing about it, bro. They just don't. They let the media take it out there. We get angry. The only time they really responded, in my opinion, is with Penn State. Because it was so egregious. They came out and they did some things with Penn State. But I mean, we've been having cases. Just think about what went on with the guy with the gymnast, that doctor. What did NCAA do to that school? We heard stuff about Michigan, the basketball team, Michigan State, the basketball, all this stuff. What does that happen? So to me, when you take a school, they have these allegations and they don't do you have rules and they don't, like LSU didn't abide by the rules. Guess what? You wipe them off the map for 3 years where they can't play any sport scholastically, make any money. Then and only then, in my opinion, these schools realize, hey, we're going to lose money. They'll stop. But for now, what happens? You get a few little bad press. It goes out there, hits the market a little bit, not maybe market the airways. In a month or two, you move on. You can go about your business. The NCAA controls this and can shut this down overnight if they want to, and they should, but they don't. Every time you hear about it, I mean, I talked about a couple of weeks ago as a coach. Right now, they talk about the guy used to be I think Wichita State. He's punching players in the mouth. Bro, you don't investigate it. You don't do nothing. You don't suspend him. Nothing. That's okay. So until they do what they're supposed to do, these schools, these coaches, they don't fear repercussions. They just don't. There is none. There is none. So it's like you can get a big fish, but guess what? They're gonna say that's just an individual case. The NCAA must be held accountable to step in and deal with these schools, but they won't because it's way too much money involved, bro. You know how much money they probably made just off LSU winning that championship? Come on. That's the bottom line. So until they really, why they have a governing body, I have no idea. But until they step in and really handle their business, it will continue every single year. You tell LSU, we're going to take that championship back, you will not see a football for 4 years. Guess what happens? Guess what happens? It gets real. It gets real.
I'm not face to say that maybe like if a big name like a coach or one of the star players that helped them win gets caught up in these allegations, that's when the school will take it seriously?
Well, I think it's a case by case basis though, and I think it was said earlier. You look at the Penn State situation; that was so crazy, and people knew it, and people started talking. They had to do something. Gymnastics situation in Michigan State. While you had some Olympic athletes saying this happened to me too as well. They took it a case by case basis. They handled it, and then they moved on. But I think the problem of it is, as you mentioned, the NCAA is not just going. It's not having to deal with just the school, right? Penn State or LSU or Virginia, whoever it may be. Now it's a conference issue, right? And you're not just tackling the school, even though in name you are, but this is an issue with the conferences, and the conferences carry a lot of weight. We see how that goes. Conferences carry a lot of weight, which is connected to TV contracts. Comes to sports. Then we talk about appearances and bowls and money. And one thing we know about the NCAA, they love their money. And even if that means somebody has to pay some hush hush money sometimes, allegedly, then they do what they do. Because you think about right now, all of the major talk is May Madness and how they lost $355 million last year. And they can't let that happen again. We'll talk about that later.
May Madness.
We're going
to talk about that later.
Y'all moved it from April to May. Y'all keep moving it back.
Look. We're going to talk about that on one of my questions because you know I'm coming for you. You're going to know why too.
Okay. Speaking of colleges making money, the NCAA men's basketball, I would call it league, just announced that they're going to do the tournament in a bubble. But I'm looking at all these games that's supposed to be happening Wednesday before Thanksgiving, to be announced. I don't even know if they're going to even make it there. I was watching Jay Billis, which Black calls me the Black Jay Billis. I was watching Jay Billis earlier today, and he was saying it's a good idea for the bubble, but this is going to be a crazy season because of the COVID virus and teams not being able to play. And we're all up in the air about Black. How is this going to be pulled off with so many teams in this country that play basketball, getting 68 teams in the tournament, and then having a bubble tournament in Indianapolis?
I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it. I mean, for the love of money, that's what this is about, bro. For the love of money, because you have college football teams now, they can't really play. And they can't play. They're delaying games. You got players, and they're pushing it through. Granted, and I said this about college football. These are amateur athletes. At the end of the day, they're amateur athletes. I was surprised that Coach K came out and said what he said earlier, man, because he shows you, or showed me at least, he doesn't care. He does not care. They don't care, bro. They're gonna wheel these men around, these young men around. They catch it, they catch it. If they don't, they don't. I don't see how. We're almost going into December, and you're talking about trying to put these men in travel around school and play to play a tournament next year. I mean, at best, in my opinion, at best, college basketball needs to shrink down. Look at possibly January. Do a short little tournament. Take some top schools, because you have some of these schools. Let's be honest. Appalachian State, whatever, they don't even need to play. They're not making it. They're not going nowhere. Let's be honest, bro. Let's just knock it out. Take your top 25, realistically. Your top 20, and you know who they are, based on their players, who they recruited. Take those top 25, wait to basically mid-January when things kind of may settle down. Play, have them play each other. Then nail it down to maybe 8 or so, have your tournament. No, it's not March Madness, but at least it's college basketball. They're trying to really have what they think they should have, what they missed out on last year. And it's absolutely ridiculous, bro. I mean, it is. When you look at what's going on, we got virus spiking everywhere. And they want to push young men out to play basketball. Then now, it's supposed to be better now because you're going to say, well, we're going to do the whole tournament in a bubble. Oh, that's great. But here's the difference. The bubble NBA, those players got paid, bro. These players aren't getting paid. They're not getting paid. I just don't get it. I mean, are these kids just going to school just for sports? I guess that is true. How about education? I'm just amazed, bro. I'm amazed that this is a story. And like you said, to be determined, because they don't know what they're doing. It's hard. It's gonna be very. You got colleges sending kids home now. Send them home to learn from home. But no, if you play a basketball game, hey, come on in. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I was listening to Jay Billis earlier today, and he was like, "There's going to be a college season this season because of the loss of revenue last season in March Madness." He was like, he almost guarantees that there's going to be college basketball this year for the mere fact that they can't take a second hit. Your thoughts?
No doubt. And I think that's true. Like I said, they lost at least $360 million last year, at least. And, like I said, you laugh at the bubble, but the bubble done correctly, NBA show, that's their evidence. That's what they're rolling off of. Yeah. Believe that. When the NBA came back and said, if you do this right, keep people tested, do whatever, it can work. And that is their evidence. The NBA got it from the basketball tournament that took place here in Columbus, Ohio, where it started. That's where they started with the bubble. They were the first group to be successful. Then the NBA is looking around and they fine-tuned it, did their thing. Now, NCAA basketball is going to do the same thing. But I think where they're missing the boat is if you're going to do it, they should, because you can't keep, baseball tried it. They tried to fly all over the place and everybody started getting caught up, coming out of different places, different things, and meeting up together. I think they should scale the season down, play conference games like they're doing only, and then say, okay, we might only play a limited season, and then you bring the conferences together. So for 2 weeks or whatever, we're gonna play our season. And y'all, I know they talking about school, but ain't nobody think about school right now. Let's be real. Half that stuff is virtual anyway. Ain't nobody like they going to class. You already know that. So if you're not focusing on class, you might as well play some games. So let's get 2 or 3, whatever weeks they're going to do, have them play, come in the same place for each conference and play your games. And then at the end of this little mini season, then we move on and you want to have conference tournaments or whatever, can't really do that, but do enough to feel satisfied with it and have a tournament and then have it in a bubble. That's what you got to do. And I understand what Black Thor talking about. I agree with him on the point of about they ain't getting paid. We said the same thing too about college football. They out there.
Somebody
getting paid, but it comes back to the same old thing. You might call it crazy, insensitive. You might call it selfish. I get that too, or ludicrous. But a lot of these, especially the top players, want to be able to play to showcase their skills so they can go to the next level. That's a hell of a risk to take. I understand that. But people, along with their parents, are willing to take it. Because at the end of the day, they want that payday, bro. They want that payday. They just do. They want that payday. And they are willing to risk sometimes their lives to get that payday, man. And that's why it's going to happen.
Sad but true. Let's go to the league where they do make the money. And the trade started today. The draft is on Wednesday. Free agency opens up on Friday. You had the big trade. I turned on my phone this afternoon and I said, man, CP3 traded? Wow. That's all that's all that was there. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with you, man, on some of these trades. You got CP3 going to the Suns for like a 7-player deal. You have Harden looking to go to the Nets or the Sixers. I don't know how that's going to work. You got Westbrook looking at the Knicks. Give me some of your thoughts about NBA, the trades, the draft. I think the drafts are going to really determine some of the trades that are going to go on and free agency. But give me some of your thoughts on the NBA.
Yeah. The trade though with CP3 going to Phoenix, I think it's a great trade for them. I think they were on their way to trying to be better. They won 8 games, but they still didn't make the playoffs. They're very young, but to bring somebody like that in with who they have already, with Booker, Ayton, he can do nothing but just help those guys. And the one thing I love about it is Monty Williams is the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Monty Williams and CP3 were able to be together for one season down in New Orleans before he moved on, and they're all excited. I think this is a great move for Phoenix. I think it's going to help a lot of people get better. Are they going to run through things? I'm not so sure about that. I still think a long way to go because there's a lot in the West, but I think it's going to be good for them. They got rid of Ricky Rubio. Time to go. Kelly Oubre. Time to go. It's time to move forward, and I think start to build your team. And I think that's what you want. That's what you have, a guy like Monty Williams with a young squad. You want to progress and be better than they were last year, and I think they will be. So that's interesting. You mentioned about some other trades. The Harden thing, I think, is just dead in the water because I don't think they're going to risk losing both of them. If Westbrook's going, they can't afford to let Harden go. You just can't because where are you starting from? You have nothing to base it on. They are totally invested in Harden. I don't know what you can get back from Brooklyn or whoever else, even the Knicks. You had to have somebody for a foundation in Houston. You just have to. Otherwise, it's crazy to me. I don't understand that. But, a couple of things I'm looking at, and I know I'll let you guys talk about it. But if you don't mind, let's come back and talk a little bit about what might happen with the draft as well.
Definitely. Black, it seems like OKC is going to, okay, we got to rebuild, so we're cutting off. They cut rid of Schroeder. And they're talking about him going to the Lakers. And Houston, if they get rid of Westbrook and Harden, they might be having a fire sale too. They can't hold all those salaries and going the route where we have to rebuild. It hasn't been working, so let's rebuild it. What's your thoughts about the NBA trade so far, the draft and free agency, where your boy AD has not agreed to his option and is becoming a free agent on Friday?
I saw that coming earlier in the year, bro. When he basically, he said when he came there that he wanted to play in Chicago. I mean, I just, it kind of makes sense in a way because you figure LeBron is only there for maybe another year or two. And if you want to sign a long deal, bro, you don't want to sign a long deal and he's not going to be there. So he has his ring. I can say moving on. I too think it was a good move for the Suns to pick up CP3. I mean, I'm not saying it's a championship move, even with CP3, but you look at what he did with OKC. He didn't go in there, he didn't complain. He kind of helped out. And I'm thinking long term with this man. I think that CP3 is thinking about, okay, I get down there, I work on the money. I think he's thinking he's going to be a coach at some time, bro. I think he realizes maybe not in the cards him to win a championship, and he's trying to set himself up to where he could walk the sidelines as an NBA head coach. And I can see that happening. Then who's better to go learn under than Monty? Maybe when he finished playing, he become assistant coach for the same team because he knows the team, he knows the players. That could help out. I can understand if Houston wants to kind of rebuild, but the general manager said that's not the case. And if that's not the case, then tell Harden to shut the hell up. I'm sorry, man, because, brother, you're on the contract. We paying you damn good money. Ain't about where you want to go, where you want to play. You're not a free agent. And I mean, I would just, tell him and his agent, either you play or you sit out. One of the two. Simple as that. Oh, I want to go play here. I want to go play here. This is not NBA 2K1000. It's not, bro. This is real high reality. Well, I mean, basketball. And Westbrook, the same thing with Westbrook. You'll be surprised. I mean, Knicks are dumb enough to take you. He's another one. Bro, you're in the contract. You play what I tell you to play. You play what I pay you to play. But they done looked around, and they do it wrong. That's one thing I give LeBron credit for. LeBron used to sign one-year contracts because he always wanted to keep his option open. So what? Your head coach left. I don't know if I want to be at the team's not be saying, bro, you signed the deal. So I just think it's amazing that, and it may happen. It may happen. I'm not saying it won't. I think it's amazing that these players, and I'm not knocking them, and the media, oh, he wants to be played here, and no one says the point. You're under contract to play with the Rockets, bro. You were that close to winning the championship with the Rockets. How about sticking it out and trying to make the Rockets a better franchise? I know that's a selfish thing, unselfish thing, but that's what it is. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. If he ends up with, even when he ends up with Brooklyn, I was saying this a little earlier to a couple of people, and I said to my son, I don't think Kevin Durant can carry a team by himself, bro. I just don't. I think Kevin Durant did well on a squad that had a full team, Golden State. So you tell me now he's going to basically be able to carry a team with 2 bad knees from one player and a gunner with another player? So it's no guarantee they're going to the championship, bro. I mean, but that's what people think now. You put together a dream team squad, it all works out. Ask the Clippers about chemistry. Ask them. We just kind of dope, mosh put together teams and think it's all going to work out. It doesn't work that way, bro. But these players believe so, that they can just, I want to go here, I want to go there. No, bro, they're in the contract. And I'm sorry, you be shut to help them play here, or you don't play anywhere.
I love it that you're schooling your son about basketball and the trades and all this other stuff. That's good stuff right there. Ice, you want to talk about the draft a little bit?
Yeah, because I mean now it's starting to kind of, it's Wednesday, so you're getting a lot of people speculating what's going on. Now it appears like Minnesota might be moving forward with picking Ball. Ball might be that wild card simply because Black Thor called him. But you know,
don't want to play with
yeah.
Ball.
He might be that wild card, and he's different. I don't understand it, but that's what I've seen some things talking that way, which means number 2 probably will be Edwards or Wiseman, but they're kind of saying maybe Wiseman. Wiseman would be huge there. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But number 4, I'm looking at that number 4 slide and kind of I'm seeing some things, but one thing that would make a lot of sense is your boy from Chicago in the Chicago Bull uniform. That's from University of Dayton. Obi Toppin would be outstanding.
That's the talk. That's the talk.
From Dayton Flyers to Chicago, it would be a great start there. Another one would be at number 9, Auburn, Isaac Okoro, making some things happen for a team. Number 10, Phoenix has a 10th pick as well. And there's a chance they could be going after Sadiq Bey from Villanova. I think that would be right along what they're trying to do. 17 is Minnesota again. They might get lucky with this one if they can pull it off, is Precious Achiuwa from Memphis. I think that'd be a good move because he's big. He can make some things happen for them. And last but not least, I think this would be a great pick. I'm not sure if they had the personnel to make this smart move or not. 19 is Brooklyn. And I think a guy that can really help them because he's young and he's just coming in and do what he got to do is Jalen Smith, the 6'10" center from Maryland. He will be outstanding for them. So we'll see if all those things come out. There's so many other things that go wrong or trades made or whatever, but we'll see. Wednesday's coming up, and we'll see who's going to do what. The time for talking is over, and it's either put up or shut up. So I want to see how outlandish somebody's going to be and how smart some others might be.
Black, you've been politicking for Ball for weeks to go to Minnesota, and how you feel about Ice kind of just saying, okay, Black, here you go. This is your layup right here.
I'm gonna say this, man. Don't forget about the Mike Tyson thing. I politic for that too. But anyway.
With Mike Tyson and Roy Jones? Yeah, you got that one too. You got that one.
I'll say, hey, man, it's just, especially when White said he doesn't want to play there, bro. I mean, you can't take him. And Minneapolis, Minnesota, they need some headlines. They need some talk. And I'll say I don't think Ball's going to be much of really going to help them out maybe the first year, but you got to make a splash sometimes, bro. You got to make a splash, and that's what the Knicks do. They try to make a splash and put people in the seats. So I think Minneapolis, I think they're going to take that route. They have no other choice. They have no other choice, man. And especially when, here again, like I said before, when you have a college player telling you, not saying, I don't want to play with you, I don't want to play with a player you have. Bro, I mean, all my years of watching basketball, following the draft, whatever, I never heard it. Yeah. What does it say about the player that you're playing, that you're paying actually? It says something that even the NBA players are afraid to say. This cat's man doesn't say it. So I'm always gonna be following this career, bro. Yeah. I just like the fact that he was bold enough to say, you know what, I don't want to play with him.
Yeah. We're going to move on to some other sports. Of course, the Golden Boy, Paul Hornung, passed away, a Green Bay great, also with Notre Dame running back. Also, what happened in the news today, Major League Baseball made a big splash with Kim Ng becoming the first woman GM in major sports, let alone baseball. I'm going to let Black, either story you want to talk about, go on with that story.
I think the woman signing as a general manager is huge, bro. And I mean, she's a foreigner in the sense too. I think that's just amazing. I really do. I don't know what made them decide to take that route. I'm glad they did. But that right there says to me, baseball and the team itself has an eye for the future. And it's another way to open the sport up and open doors up, bro. So that's huge, bro. That is monumental. It just really is, man. It's just, again, people will start to pay attention to that team. You have followers now for that team that may not even pay attention to baseball. That would have never paid attention to the team or the league itself. Will start to notice and pay attention now. So that's huge, bro. That's huge. And it's just, I basically tip my hat to the person that made, or the group of people that made that decision and wasn't afraid and was bold enough to make that decision. That I'm happy to say.
All right. So either story, Paul, the Golden Boy. And because when I heard that news, it kind of struck me because he was always kind of like the playboy and always kind of go against Coach Lombardi's kind of Paul Hornung. He'd go against Coach Lombardi's rules and was able to play anyway and still play at an elite level, either at Notre Dame or Green Bay. And Kim Ng, I can't say this enough. I'm very proud of Derek Jeter and the Miami Marlins and what they've been able to do and embark in with the Marlins. A lot of people gave him a lot of flack for, taking ownership and making some of the moves he made, but they seem to be working out a few years later.
Yeah. In regards to Kim Ng taking over down there, general manager as far as Marlins are concerned, I think that's major simply because of the fact that she's already been coached well and tested. She used to be with the Dodgers for a little bit and spent some time somewhere else. So she's tested, she's battle tested, she knows what's going on, and she knows the game. And in baseball, particularly when you're making deals, you want somebody that's been around the game. It's not so much in baseball that you have to play the game. You just have to understand how teams come together, salaries and things like that, and understand the chemistry as well. And I think she's going to do well there. So happy for her, happy for baseball opening their eyes to putting somebody in a position to make some things happen. To Mr. Hornung, real quick, he was the kind of little different kind of dude in regards to his attitude and whatnot. And later on, he was also the type of guy that was a little bit more brash in his comments. He was saying some things that a lot of people didn't want to receive because he was the time that he played, and a lot of people gave him flack because he was talking about race and some other things. A lot of people didn't really receive it well, but he was just kind of telling you what was going on while other people were trying to hide behind it. So rest in peace. He's a hell of a player. Again, just because you play football, you play sports doesn't make you a great person. Not saying that just about him. I'm saying about all athletes. Uh-oh. Come out that mute, bro.
Yeah, I got to get off the mute. Got to go to boxing real quick. And I thought this would be a better match. I thought it would be a longer match. Finally got Black to watch some boxing, and it was a disappointing weekend for him. With the first match where they couldn't decide whether or not it was a no contest or, there was no headbutting. Please, you got the replay. You could have saw that, for 2 hours, two rounds. You could have saw that for the 20 minutes that you saw it. And Bradley even pointed it out saying, you know what, they're not going to change this. And he pretty much knows the game of boxing. But I'm going to go to you, Ice. Kell Brook, just not the Kell Brook that we were expecting to come out and give Crawford a real kind of challenge this weekend.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Crawford. Crawford came in and did what he had to do, took care of business, got rid of him, got rid of him in the 4th round. But he was taking some punches. I mean, you can see the eye swelling up a little bit, but it's not the same Kell Brook. I wish we could go back in time. The same Kell Brook that fought Sean Porter and beat him, back in 2014. But you can't change time. You got to deal with it as you see it. And Crawford's up there. Now, of course, you have the elder statesman and Bob Arum saying how great he is, and that's all well and good. But I must just say this. Before you crown him, there's a brother named Spence Jr. That is the truth as well. And I know it's not going to happen, but Terrence Crawford deserves it because we thought Kell Brook was going to be legit. I'm not sure what's next. I know that Crawford, they're calling out the name Pacquiao, right? And everybody's like, oh, Pacquiao. But I'm going to say this. I always like Manny Pacquiao. But to me, the reason why they're calling out Manny Pacquiao is about legacy and cash. Straight up. They're going to the Middle East, make this money, come back. That's not a fight I'm going to go, oh, now you beat Pacquiao, so you're like the pound for pound guy, like they want to make him to be. So that kind of threw me for a little twist a bit. Again, I say this. I know it's not going to happen because it makes too much sense, and they feel more privileged. And he should because he won a big fight, and he keeps knocking down the opponents they put in front of me. I want to see, it's not going to happen because it's not going to make any money. I want to see Crawford fight Sean Porter. I know they boys. I know they friends.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
But that's what I'm saying. You want to see the man come beat
I want to see that fight, but
yeah. One thing about it, I'll say this. I mean, I know Crawford's working his way up, but one thing about Errol Spence Jr. is this. Errol Spence Jr. went up. He fought Sean Porter. He beat him legitimately. Now he's fighting Danny Garcia. Taking him down, want to take him down, that's what it is. And then what? And he already told you, one thing I like about, I know Crawford did a great job. One thing I like about Errol Spence Jr. real quick is, they asked him who he want to fight. He already named it. He put it out there. He said, I'm going to fight this dude, and I'm going to move on. He said, I'm going to fight Danny Garcia. If Pacquiao's available, I'll fight him. And I'm going to fight Crawford. And then I'm going to move up because I want Canelo. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He not wasting no time. He put a hit list out. He didn't say, oh, I don't want to fight Crawford. He put a hit list out. And like, I only got like 3 more fights at welterweight. And then I'm going to move up.
I think it's real smart. I think it's real smart.
Yeah,
move up in weight. You're getting older, move up in weight, move up in power. Yeah. Black, finally got you to watch some fights, man. Come on, man. Give me some of your commentary, bro.
Well, I'll say this about Crawford, man. Tactician in the ring, brother. He really is, man. Like I said, he took some punches, but he kept just kind of staying there and we kind of figured some things out. And the punch that he landed, woo, that wasn't pretty. I don't understand this, man. When I heard the name that night, Pacquiao, I'm like, why would you? I mean, other than money, I understand that. Why the hell you want to fight Pacquiao? That's like a no-win, lose composition. You beat Pacquiao, so what, bro? I mean, I'm surprised they even allowed Pacquiao to put gloves on. I'm really surprised they allowed that to happen. But the first bout, man, I'll spend a little time talking about that. Like, how do you not many significant headbutts? Where were they? I mean, I'm gonna give ESPN credit, man. They showed you everything they could have showed you. They went back and forth. The commentating was right there. Like you said, the boxer said that they're not going to change it. And I've been saying this for a while. Boxing's the only thing I can think of will basically insult your intelligence to like what you think you saw was magic is not what you saw. And that was on display that night, bro. I mean, I understand if you didn't use your videotape to an extent, but you have the videotape. They're playing it back and forth. They're on the phone. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. I mean, I don't know because the guy was Australian and the other guy was American. I don't know what played into that decision making, but there's no way that fight should have went down that way. And it's sad because you can see people basically they're serious about their craft, and it's just the referees or whatever the board finds a way to always do what they want to do, regardless of what takes place. And to me, it's part of the reason why I choose not to really watch boxing, because they play with your emotions, bro. You sit there, you're watching and you're looking, and then you're like, wait a minute, how you gonna make me believe something I just didn't see? So that was on full display that night, bro. And here again, it'll be on display again. That's boxing as far as I know it.
One of the things that I'm starting to realize, and it took me a while to realize, that boxing sometimes, and most of the time, is based on business decisions. It's not based on who's the best, fighting the best. It's based on business decisions and what fight is going to make money, or what fight in the future is going to make more money if we create a controversy, a controversial draw, because And I heard a number of boxing analysts say this when they were, kind of putting up different fights that they want to see. It's like, I'm a sucker. If they put that fight up there, I'm going to watch it. And so I think that they know that the public, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, they know the public are suckers for this. So they're going to put it out there. It's almost like the WWE almost. It's like it's a business decision, and that they're going to make the decision that's going to garnish more money in the future. It doesn't matter what the decision is for this particular fight at this particular time.
Yeah, I mean, no, a lot of that's true. I mean, I tell people when you look at when Pacquiao fought Jeff Horn over City,
yeah, definitely.
And they made Jeff Horn. They gave him the fight. Pacquiao was bloodied up, and they're talking about how horrible what he did to Pacquiao. So he was cutting him with his damn elbows. He wasn't even hitting him. He was using his elbows and cutting the man in the face. So that's why the blood was pouring in his face. But they made Jeff Horn this great guy for a couple of fights, which I think was a Bob Merrim thing. Then he came over here in Terrence Crawford and he got demolished. I mean, like he didn't even belong over in the ring, the same ring. So I agree with you. It's about the money and they look forward to it. But at some point, particularly now, I think they're running out. It's going to be hard to do that because you've been gone and people don't have to turn on boxing. People not coming you're not filling arenas anymore. Right. So people spending money on pay-per-view, you can't give me this BS. And even though they suckers, I don't think too many people, so many suckers for $75 or $125 for a fight that you, that you like, what the hell? Give me something else. So I think people are, especially the way that things are going in this country, you're not just dropping 125 just because you kind of think you like that guy. You need some substance.
That got to be my guy.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I know I would.
Yeah. Give your last word on this, Black.
No, I mean, yeah. I would say, yeah, they basically run it like a business to where they want to keep it going. Just like the two fighters, Spence and Crawford. How do you not have two fighters that are good and you don't put them together? Yeah. I mean, come on. Then you get, we'll fight. No, you won't. No, you won't. I mean, that's the difference. And I know we come from a different generation of fighters, but back then you always wanted to fight the best when they were their best. Not when they passed their prime, and not when everything's all said and done. But it's about just generating income now, man. And then that's what it comes down to. And who knows, maybe people start to lose interest, maybe not. But that's why I was over the years, bro, because I seen that years ago. They're not about putting a good fight on. No, it's about, okay, let's keep it going and string it out as long as we can. And it's basically very close, if not the same thing, as the WWE, bro. I mean, it's just what it is. Very close.
Yeah, because you look at Crawford, he's 33. By the time him and Spencer fight, if Spencer's going to fight two more fighters, he may be 34, 35. Do we want to see that fight at that particular time when he is past his prime?
We like the same thing, too, with Triple G. Mm-hmm. Triple G is chasing Canelo around like a little dog, trying to chase a bone. Triple G could be 40 by the time you fight Canelo again. And he's gone, he's done.
Yeah. All right, questions from the squad. Black.
Woo. My question will go to Anthony Davis. And we talked about a little while ago. But would you have respect for him and he's opting out and he does resign or sign with a team such as the Bulls and they have really no shot of winning a championship?
Ice?
Yeah, I would. I mean, because you want to go home. I mean, what? Yeah, you could do. You won the championship. Kawhi wanted to go home. He won 1 year with Toronto and moved on. But I don't think he's doing that. I think he opted out because he can make the most money by opting out, and he can be a free agent, and the Lakers pay more money. I think he got he probably do the LeBron thing, 1 or 2 years, 2-year contract max, and then he'll maybe do something else, maybe go to Chicago. But I think right now it's hot. He knows it. He's loving that LA thing right now. Everybody knows he's a champion. Then to go to Chicago right now, I don't see that one.
Man, and nobody cares about respecting the NBA, no more, man, and jumping teams and all. Everybody doing it. Everybody going home. They want to play with their friends. So I don't think anybody – I wouldn't have any loss of respect for him because he didn't guarantee the Lakers that, hey, I'm going to be here and be your guy until I retire. He's there. LeBron is there for a little while. LeBron is going to leave. So where will he end up after that if LeBron leaves? Because let's be honest, without LeBron, he has no championship. He has no championship. And if he leaves, there is no championship with LA. So those two are a dynamic duo. I'm sure LeBron's trying to talk him into it, saying, hey, go out there, see what people, see how much you're worth out there in the market. If Chicago steps up and say, hey, we want you here, we want you to come home, maybe he goes. I don't know. But I think he's playing it smart with opting out and becoming a free agent to see how bad the Lakers really want him. Black?
Yeah, I respect opting out, but I will say this, man. This bit about going home, I don't get. I just don't get. Even when Kawhi Leonard was doing it, man, I think he left Toronto a year too early. I just do. And it's like to go home and play. What's the big deal, bro? You make enough money, you can fly back home every weekend. I'm sorry, man. I just don't understand it. But I do see the NBA being a monkey see, monkey do league. So I think he will go. I think he's going to go to Chicago. But I think I said it earlier. I think he will. Will I lose respect for him? No. I don't think he is cut for LA in a sense. I think he sold his home. But I don't think he's cut for all the just being tough night after night. I know he does prove it a little bit in the playoffs, but that's not his natural makeup. He can go home and be a big fish in Chicago.
So let me ask you this: if you were like a phenom in basketball and you played, say, you've been a Knicks fan all your life, but you're playing in Orlando, and you had some success in Orlando, and then the Knicks say, you know what, we're thinking about picking you back up. You wouldn't have that tendency. It's like, you know what, I've been a fan for years. Let me go back and play with the Knicks if they put a package together.
If the team itself wasn't structured well enough for me to go to, I wouldn't go there, bro.
Okay.
I just wouldn't. I mean, I'll say this real quick with Kawhi Leonard. You talking about coming home, bro? You had to go get Paul George to come home. That's not coming home. That's not. I mean, if you want to be home, that man, you'd have went there without bringing Paul George with you. So it amazes me when talking about coming home and playing LA. Kawhi Leonard, you're not an LA guy either, bro. You're not. You just are. That's not your makeup. You're better off. He was better off in Toronto. He really was. But these cats get these ideas, and they're young men. Don't get me wrong. They're young men. They get these ideas in their head. I want to be home. I'll be next to mom cooking, bro. You're in your 20s. Maximize your career first. You can be home in your 30s and your 40s, all you want to be. The same people that's gonna be rooting for you back then, they're gonna root for you anyway. Seriously. You ever heard the NBA League Pass?
Hey, Ice, same question. You go play somewhere like I don't know, Milwaukee, without the big Greek freak or anything like that, and you get a chance to go to play in Cleveland. Would you do it?
I'm gone, bro. I'm going to Cleveland. I've never been to Milwaukee, but no disrespect, but I would go to Cleveland. Just like you said with the Knicks, I wouldn't go to the Knicks. I don't give a damn. They're gonna have to have special Kevin Durant, LeBron James. You got to have a special because you already know the franchise. I also will look at the franchise to see how they treat their players.
Yeah.
If you know it's not worth any day gone. Yeah, I mean it's great to want to play home, but like Blackthorn said, I mean just to be there. I mean just because you're from there, no. I mean you got to have some structure because I don't care what it's like. Wherever you play, even if you go back home and you losing, they're going to come for you. And the only thing, the problem with doing that at home is you're going to know the people and they're going to really be coming for you and ask you for tickets when you suck.
Yeah. I don't know if Knicks had a different owner and I was a phenom and yeah, I would go to play for the Knicks. If they had a different owner, that would be my thing. I can't play under Dolan. I just can't. Ice, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is, and I don't want to be picking on any particular sport, but I'm just going to ask the question. You see a lot of groups coming back real quick. NBA is coming right back. NCAA is trying to get ready for their season. Do you think in baseball had a really nice World Series? What do you think about like the WNBA, man? Do you think that they're going to get lost in all this? Because it's going to be a long time. We're talking about next summer before we even thinking about them. They said who the champion was and everybody blah, blah, blah. And now they've been gone for a minute. They just kind of disappeared. Do you think they have a chance to kind of rejuvenate themselves and come back strong? Or you think this is going to be an afterthought after all that's going on right now?
Black?
I think it's going to be an afterthought, but I don't think it's going to go back strong. That's going to be an afterthought. The league itself has lost some luster. But the primary reason why it's an afterthought, and nobody's talking about because they don't generate enough. They don't generate enough cash. They just don't, bro. They're not a cash generator. They're being subsidized, or NBA is basically fronting their money. So no, they're not considered, out there well enough. I'll just say this, man. I love the league. I love the players. I love what they try to do. But I think that league maybe have 3 years of a shelf life, if that, 3 years. And I think after that, I'm not sure how much longer it's going to be around. Because if the NBA continue to keep losing money, especially this new season coming up, you got to make cuts somewhere, bro. You got to make cuts somewhere. So at some point, it's going to come across their table. You know what? No one's really watching. No one's coming to the games. We're losing money. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I think during this period where the NBA is playing this summer and different sports are trying to make it back this summer to make money and make the cash run, it kind of exposed the WNBA with viewership because for one, I love how they stand up for social consciousness. I love the tough play. I love the competitiveness these ladies play with. But when it all came down to it, nobody was watching. And Black is right. If it's not making dollars, it's not making sense. And I can see them getting cut off. I even say even before that 3 years that Black said, because if it's not making dollars, it's not making sense. If advertisers really don't care if you're on or not, if you can't compete with the NBA and college football and baseball and all those other sports that were going on, soccer and all that, then you become a footnote. You become a footnote. It's sad, but you will become a footnote. And so I think they got exposed this summer where other sports came in during their time and just kind of just took them over where I couldn't even find a WNBA game unless I was really trying hard to find one. Your thoughts, Ice?
Yeah, it's just really sad because you mentioned summer is their time because, there's really not a lot going on and a lot of teams, a lot of sports just jumped in on it and they were afterthought. I think the NBA let them have it just because it was the right thing to do. I think they're still trying to be politically correct when it comes to women and the whole Title IX thing. But the one thing that really gets to me is I think, and nobody wants to hear this, and I'm not trying to take away nobody's job, but in order for them to really be successful, I think they need to take a page out what they used to be called the ABL basketball league. I think they should cut down the number of teams they have, which means a few people going to lose some jobs, and tighten it up with the best teams. If you got 6 teams, whatever it is, they have the best players and let them go at it. And that way you see this competition with these so-called somewhat stacked teams together and play that way. And granted, I know that's women going to be losing jobs, but you still can go overseas and play. And they're looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? We just got a contract. I get that. But if you really want to make it, to me, and this might come from the NBA or WNBA perspective as management, if you really want to make it more exciting and more competitive, I think you have to tighten up the teams with the best talent, with better talent on each team, and let them go at it. I think that's the way they go it because right now it's just wide open and if we don't make it, it's no big deal. But if you scrapping with the best players night in, night out, it might generate a little bit more buzz than what's happening right
now. Okay. Black, you got another question?
The Masters happened this past weekend. I mean, I didn't hear the numbers of the ratings or anything of that nature, but is it time for them to really stop talking about Tiger Woods? Really, is it time to basically stop parading him out there when he just doesn't have it
anymore? I was going to put a topic in there about the Masters, but I knew that maybe Ice would be bringing it up. But Ice, what are your thoughts?
Well, look, I'm not bringing it up. I hadn't even watched it this year. That's the first time in years I have not watched it. I know who won. And I was like, wow, I saw his brother crying after he won. Dustin Johnson was 20 under. I got that, but I didn't watch one stroke. I heard about Tiger, great first round. I'll say this. I think it is time. I think it's long overdue for them to get off of Tiger. But the problem with that, and we said it before, is there's no one player or two of them that are consistent. They're not. And it's showing you that every time they wanted to put a player, well, he's the next this, he's the next that. He wasn't the next, he was just himself. And they came down to earth. Tiger Woods, Jack Nicholas and so many others have been, Arnold Palmer, they were great. Not good, great. And when you try to compare certain golfers to legends, it's not happening. We have not seen that yet where any of these young guys have risen to the occasion and taken the lead. It's a lot. One guy, Dustin Johnson's up, when another guy's up. You know, Rory McIlroy was up for a long time. You really don't hear about him like that anymore. So many guys are trying to be the guy, and they haven't done it yet to take over. So guess what? By default, Tiger's playing this week. Here comes Tiger. And that's what they do. That's exactly what to do. The best thing for me that came out of the Masters, no disrespect to Dustin Johnson, was when they mentioned that Lee Elder is going to be recognized in 2021. That's the best thing that came out of this whole damn thing.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to golf. I got a bunch of clubs in there that I haven't used in a year. And I get, to me, when I see Sports Center or wherever program is on and they start talking about Tiger, I just turn. I mean, he's not doing anything. He's not winning anything. And him giving the jacket to Johnson, it didn't mean anything to me. You know, and it is time. It is time to move on, to find the next Jack Nicholson or the next Tiger Woods or the next person that the sports need to follow. But they tend to, when he's on television, whether he's winning or losing or playing, people pay attention to him. I've lost that. I don't pay attention to him because he's not relevant at this particular point in golf to me. Your thoughts?
I think at some point they got to realize they got to let that go to move forward. Because I don't think people are still paying attention to him like they probably did maybe 6 months ago, a year ago. And it's sad. He has aged drastically too, bro, in my opinion. He's not aged well. But I think you have to move on, man. Even Michael Jordan at some point stopped playing. And you got to move on. You can't keep putting him out there and think it's going to keep drawing people when he does not live up to it. I mean, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. White women chasing you with golf clubs will age you. I swear.
Never had it done before. I don't know, I guess.
Oh, you look young because ain't nobody chasing us with golf clubs.
Exactly.
Ice, your last question.
Yeah, my last question is, I was going to think about something, but I'm going to hit this real hard. The Dallas Mavericks, okay, when they came out, saw in the bubble, they were going nuts over Luka Doncic, and that's great. He's a hell of a player. Showed he has mad skills. They also have Porzingis, and they have a lot of question marks on the rest of their roster as to what they might have to do to improve. How do you think they're going to handle it? Do you think they're going to make some good moves, worse some moves they might make in order to try to improve that team and add some additions to play with those two guys?
Black?
To me, the Dallas Mavericks do just enough to kind of tickle you, but they don't. They never push themselves over the edge, bro. And they've, for whatever reason, they have become enamored with these foreign players. So I'm sure they're going to choose somebody from a foreign tip, and they like that. They just like that. Something about that they like. They like bringing in the foreign players that they believe that gives their team exposure, and I think that's the route they're going to take. But they're going to do enough to be in some games, cause some excitement, but they just don't do enough or add enough or draft enough to kind of get to where they need to be. And I'm not saying that championship they won was kind of a fluke, but it's just, to me, they've always been that way. They just did. It's like they just put stuff together, almost like the silly putty, but they're happy with just having some splashes, but not necessarily basically taking on the prize.
I think this bubble did them a service where they got to make some moves to hang out there in the Wild Wild West Conference. And they got some primetime players. They need to add on to it. I kind of think the ownership, they tasted that championship years ago. They want to make a splash. They want to get in the mix. Hearing all the things with LeBron. LeBron doesn't have too many years to play. And so you got Golden State, you got LA Clippers, all those folks. I think the Dallas Mavericks want to stay in the mix. And I anticipate them making some major moves to get complementary players to play with the players they have, to stay in the mix. Not saying they're going to win a championship, but to be mentioned that they have a chance. They're a contender. Ice?
Yeah, I think they need to because they need a third guy that's more consistent. I mean, you had a lot of guys that were around. You had what was it, Hardaway Jr. I think was over there. You had a guy that played out his mind coming out the bubble, Trey Burke. And my question is, will they keep guys like that, or will they try to grab somebody, make a major splash, and how would they move them, and how would they obtain them, should I say? And I'm not sure if that's what they do because you just can't rely on the same 1-2 punch all the time. And, you know, that was the bubble. Things are going to change a little bit coming up now because now we get the whole 82 and teams are getting better. You know, teams are not sitting around waiting on you to think, oh, you're going to be great. And, you know, when you get exposed, Luka, okay, are you going to be able to keep dropping those points the way you did throughout the rest of the next year as well?
It used to be you just needed 2 studs in the NBA team, and you can go a long way. But now you need like three bona fide studs to get it there. It's like 2 that are really known and a third that comes and shines when they need to shine, like playoff time, things of that sort. So it used to be, you know, if you had the Scotty and you had Jordan, you had Magic and you had Jabbar, you had Bird. Who used to play with Bird? You know, Parrish, McHale. You know, you need some studs. You know, at least you have 2, you can make it. And then you had complementary players that knew their role. But in the NBA now, you need 3 studs because I'm looking at what Denver did. They needed that young fella to kind of really be consistent for them to get over the hump, and they just couldn't do it. They had the 1-2 punch with old boy and the Joker, but they really needed old boy.
Junior, yeah.
Yeah, they really needed him to pull it through, and he just not experienced to do that. So yeah, it's almost like you need 3 players in the NBA these days for a stud. Of course, you had Harden and Westbrook. You needed a third guy because when they're not on, who do you go to? All right, last second shots, Black.
Woo, I'm gonna say this, man, and I may not be popular, or may not be popular in saying so. Just looking at Chris Berman, there's some things too. I said about Ice. It's time to let Chris Berman move on, bro. It's time to let him go, bro. Let him go, bro. Let him go. The comb over, all that stuff. Let him go to the Hall of Fame. It's time, bro. And I'll say this to ESPN. You know, I know you complain about you don't have money, but when you're playing Dan Le Batard, $3 million a year to be that garbage that he is, you deserve whatever financial hardship you have. $3 million for that piece of junk is you got to be kidding me.
So that half-hour show is $3 million.
He's making $3 million a year. No, I'm talking about the guy what's the guy that you like? There's Pop used to come on in the afternoon.
Yeah, Dan Le Batard.
Yeah.
Yes,
but a half-hour show.
Well, he comes on in the morning from 10 to 1, I believe. He's making on radio.
Oh, ESPN Radio.
$3 million a year. So you're paying him and Stephen A. Smith all the time, and I'm not knocking their hustle. But if you're paying them, then it's a good reason why you guys are in financial strain, because the talent does not match what they're getting paid.
We'll do it for half. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere. First of all, it was my dad's birthday yesterday, man. And every time I thought about how special that was to what he meant to me in my life. And I just wanted to thank him and thank his memory for allowing me to move forward in life like I have. And then also, most importantly, to give me the common sense how to deal with some stupid motherfuckers in this world. So I appreciate that. But the other part of it too is real quick is you talk about I'm watching some of these shows, no disrespect to anybody else, but I watch some of the answers that are provided by some hosts and things, and I just shake my head. Again, we will do it for half. In fact, we'll do it for a quarter what they make. Trying to tell you, because right now, as far as understanding, some of the messages and the answers, I'm like, did you ever play?
Yeah.
Did you even watch this damn sport? But I ain't mad at you. You got your shirt and tie. You look good. You a metrosexual. I'm just a dude. You feel me? I ain't mad at y'all.
I gotta continue on there. Well, happy birthday to Mr. Farmer. You raised a hell of a son. Hell of a son. That's my dude. That's our dude. Me and Black. I have to go with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know how much he's making, but we'll do it for half. We will do it for half. They keep putting him on different shows. it's to the point. I remember a few years ago, I decided I'm not watching the show that he's on, and I do not watch. I can't remember the last time I watched First Take. I can't remember. I don't even know if the sponsors are realizing that. But I will tell you, every person that I've met in Chicago who talk about ESPN are trying to figure out why is Stephen A. still on TV. I know we're not the minority with this. I know we're not the minority with this. This stick is up. Get rid of him. Get somebody new that knows the sports, who's just not loud and obnoxious and don't know what they're talking about. Please, if you want to do yourself a favor, that's part of the reason I think why you're losing money. People aren't watching your show. They'll go to the show Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Jay Billis, because they just don't want to hear Stephen A. And I don't know if my cable company is picking up that. I know they're kind of tracking what you watch. That every time First Take comes on after Get Up, just turn right to another channel. I don't know if they're picking it up. They should be picking it up, because nobody is really tuning in to listen to his noise anymore. You want to save some money? There's a good spot to cut right there. That's our show. We're going to come back. We're all kind of sitting in the same boat with the wins this week. I don't know how that happened, because we were choosing different teams, but we ended up with the same amount of wins.
The math is starting to get funny, baby. That's all it's
Got
happening.
everybody?
Here we go.
Got everybody?
The math is starting to get funny.
Here we go.
Is that everybody?
The math is starting to get funny. Happy birthday to your pops, man. We should have said something yesterday, bro. Would have talked about them more on the show, man.
It's cool, man. I think I was in a moment, bro. I had a day. You ever know, real quick, you ever know you have a day of reflection, man? I had a day of reflection about my dad. And that happened a long time.
What kind of reflection?
Just a day of reflection about my dad, man. Just where his birthday, I don't know what it was. You know, I even expressed myself a little bit on Facebook. A lot of people saw I got some love on that. But it's just something about that. And maybe because I'm on the point of writing this book, man, and it hit me. And I was like, you know what? I just need to say something, because, and you realize how important, I'm like, that's my damn guy, man. Yeah. And then, you know, more and more you put things together, and then more than anything, not really about me, but just letting people know about how my dad was, who he was, and then also relaying to other people, man. You got an opportunity to still connect with your dad or somebody in your life. Do that, man. Because once they're gone, bruh, damn.
That's it.
Tell you that shit. Woo! It just makes you go over here, man. I think I listened to gospel for 9 hours yesterday. I'm cleaning up the house. I'm going to do that every week. I listen like 9 hours of gospel, man. I got more accomplished.
I meant to ask this question, and I was going to save it for When Black Men Talk, Black show.
We can bring it back too.
Yeah. What was your dad's? I'll go to Black first, then I'll go to the Ice. What was your dad's favorite sport? If you could pinpoint it, what was his favorite sport?
Baseball, man. My father only really watched baseball. He didn't pay attention to anything else, man. He fell asleep on baseball most of the time, but baseball was it, bro. That was it. Yeah. How
about you, Ice?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be football or hoops. My dad was a baseball player, bro. He played catcher, and even when my dad was like, I was trying to remember when I first played Little League, how old my dad was. My dad was like 40 and some change, man. He dropped right down, man, in the catcher's in the position, squat, and be like, throw me the ball. And I'm like, and I started thinking about that. I said, he was old as hell. What you doing dropping that? Baseball. Well, I mean, because he listened to it. He didn't watch it on TV. He wanted to listen to it on the radio. That was his thing. You wanted to connect with him, you got to listen to this on the radio. The other thing, too, was I was like 11 when I first started playing baseball, man. I was like, oh, I'm excited to play Little League. I'm going to go right up around the corner where we live at and play. My dad said, you gonna play baseball? I said, yeah, Dad, you play baseball. I won't play baseball. Dude was like, no, you ain't going around the corner. You gonna learn how to play where I played. He take me cross town to the neighborhood, bro, and dropped me off. He let me play for a minute. I'm like, so that's cross town, right? Cross town. I said, so you start taking me to practice a little bit. I said, you gonna take me to practice? He's like, nah, son, you got a bike. You got to get there. I used to hump, bro, every day. I was like, oh my God, I'm only 11. He was like, hey, you got a glove tied on the back. And he would come to the games periodically, but for the most part, he was like, you got to get this done on your own. It made me a better baseball player because the competition was better.
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to go back to second year. I got picked up. They thought I did well, but I came back to him and was like, look, I'm tired of riding my bike way across town. Could I play close to home now? He's like, yeah, since you did what I asked you to do. I said, thank you, Daddy. Because that's a long-ass ride, bro.
Wow.
For the love of the game.
I know my dad loves a lot of sports, boxing, football, basketball, mostly college basketball, football, NFL. He does the picks with us, but baseball is his first love, man. I mean, to sit down next to him and watch a game with him and him describing what the pitcher is thinking, what the catcher's doing, how they're going to kind of do certain things. He can almost predict what's going to happen. I mean, I always loved. When I was younger, I'm like, man, I don't want to hear all this noise. But as I got older, listening to him and how he kind of taught me, not kind of, but taught me the game. He wanted me to be a baseball player, but I wasn't hearing it. But how he continues to teach the game. He used to manage teams in his 60s. Still in North Carolina, young guys going to Shaw University and all that other stuff, and still could throw that knuckleball, a curve, and all that other stuff. And he would have me practicing with them out in the field. And his knowledge of the game, I wish, I always wish this for him, that he would have been like a manager of a team or been with a pro franchise, because all that knowledge that he has about the game, if you sit there, even if you didn't know about baseball, he can just teach you things about baseball where you walk away and you're a fan of baseball. So baseball, he will watch every single baseball game. I don't care who's playing. He was even watching the Koreans baseball league. And he could tell what players were good, what type of league it was. He's just a baseball freak, man. And so, but yeah, that's his first, to me, my observation. I never asked him what his favorite sport, but you could just tell baseball. Baseball was it.
Isn't it amazing, though, when you think about it real quick, how all three of us mentioned baseball?
Yeah.
It shows you how things have changed. Back in the day, that's what it was. Because you think about the situation with Jackie Robinson, the Negro Leagues. I mean, things were so strong, man, and things changed. And now, hell, you can't even find us down there in the league, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's why the Dodgers' favorite team, because of Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
That's how he chose his favorite team, Jackie Robinson.
Wednesday night, baby.
Yep.
Go back and count those numbers, man.
Hey, so you said we all close, about the same, you think?
When I was counting last night, we all had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And all of us had 8 victories.
Oh shit! So that means tonight is. Oh my god.
Yeah, you chose Chicago tonight.
Huh?
You chose Chicago tonight.
You might be in good shape where it looks like now.
I hope so. I need it. I need it bad.
They need it.
Come on, Kurt.
Oh no! Come on, Kurt.
Kurt got to show up.
Oh yeah! Come on, Kurt. Keep doing what you're doing.
Come on.
Yeah, Kurt. What about that? Yeah. Come on, Kurt. Keep doing what you're doing, baby.
I meant to ask you guys, do any of you cook, like during the holidays, you just cook for yourself, or you go over other people's house and take your chances on the potato salad?
Man. You know, we get it in over here, bro. So you know what? Whatever I need, I get. If I go over somebody's house and I don't like it, it's gonna be okay, because I'm gonna be all right when I get home. I'm doing one of those, as you said on Black Men Talk, I'm doing one of those holiday appearances. And then I get the hell out of there so I can go home and eat. If the food is not in cooperation. Not like that's ever happened before, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't tend to cook too much during the holidays, man. I'll be honest, man. I've never made potato salad, bro. I'm not even gonna try. Because potato salad means a hit or miss. I'm not missing on potato salad when I want good potato salad. So I know where to go to get good potato salad. So stuff like that, the things that I need to get, you got to know where to get them good. There's no question marks.
Can I say one thing to you, though? If you ever decide to make potato salad, brother, please don't put no raisins in it.
Oh, please. That ain't gonna happen.
Better than black people's staple to put raisins.
No.
I'm just saying, you know,
Who the hell thought of that?
but he did. I mean, he did say where he was getting his stuff from. So I don't know. You know, you have to be careful where if he decided to make it, who he might be getting instructions from.
You know, the black stereotype that we don't eat everybody's potato salad is true. I can't do it. I know how to make. Grandma and mom made me sit down and learn how to cook, because I was coming from every time I would come from football practice, something like that, or coming from school, I wanted certain things, and so you know they were like, okay, come in the kitchen, and we're gonna teach you how to do this because I'm tired of cooking stuff for you because I ate a lot, and so I noticed with me during the holidays, I'll cook all the stuff that I like. I'll put some in the freezer, and you know I'll just sit in front of TV for 3 football games and just eat, fall asleep, I'll eat like a butcher's dog for a few days. Macaroni and cheese, potato salad, collard greens, turkey, corn pudding, all that stuff.
From Chicago, all that.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, I tend not to go to other people's houses because you go over there, it's like, man, I don't want to eat this, or I don't trust this. And I just kind of just do it on my own, man. And I know I eat it. I know it's good. Or I make chicken. Just stuff that I know I'm going. It doesn't even have to be Thanksgiving food. I know I got to make the stuffing and all the other stuff, but I just make stuff that I know I'm going to eat. I haven't made like sweet potato pie in a long time, so usually I'll just buy those from the store. Get vanilla ice cream, and kind of put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Put the vanilla ice cream on it. Man.
It's a store up here, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. They sell sweet potato pie all year. It's that good. You don't need to make your own, bro. I'm gonna tell you, it's that good. They sell it all year, and they sell sometimes they sell like a half pie. That's all you need. Sometimes a half. You don't need the whole. Just get the half.
I don't even like pumpkin pie. I don't understand pumpkin.
Please. An insult.
I wonder why some people during the holidays start to experiment with food. I'm like, what the hell? They start adding stuff. I'm like, that's not the time to do it. You want to experiment on your own time. If we come to your house and you serving a 4-cheese macaroni and cheese casserole, stick with it. Don't start adding nothing new, like you changing stuff up or whatever. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I'm like, that lets you know you in trouble then.
Yeah. The potluck, I don't even go to potlucks anymore at work. They tell the potluck, I'll just give my cash and like, okay, I'm good. I'm not going. Because I don't know who got a cat, be lapping up in I don't know. I don't know how you living in your house.
Hey, in my old job, I was known for this. Everybody would have their little potluck and they bring what they bring, and you kind of knew who was cooking what. You kind of look at the stuff. I brought exactly what I wanted to eat, right? And if you didn't want to eat it, that was cool too. Because I would just eat what I wanted. And nobody said they like what I like because they're trying to be all healthy and stuff. I like meat, bro. I always have, always will. Certain times you need to have meat in your life, right? But they bring all these other dishes and everything. So I'll probably be the only one that brought something like that. And before you know it, they get up there and it couldn't take 15 minutes. All the stuff I brought was gone. I said, where are these vegetarians at? And these, all of these vegans and stuff, eating all the meat up. It's just funny how people act until they get in front of something and then they just devour.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like, what's your go-to thing you got to have on Thanksgiving?
Man, I notice most people up here, man, they're not into turkey anymore, man. So I'm not gonna say turkey. I love turkey. More people are kind of leaning more towards ham than turkey, and for good reasons. If you're gonna give me a go-to, it's gotta be the stuffing, bro.
Yeah,
gotta be the stuffing. The stuffing has gotta be the go-to, brother. The stuffing's gotta be right. I mean, because ain't nothing. I mean, it's good when it starts out, but good cold stuffing 2 or 3 days later.
That's when the food tastes better.
Yes.
Later.
That's what I'm talking about. Right there. The stuffing's gotta be it.
How about you, Ice?
Definitely macaroni and cheese, but the right ham, bruh, the right ham, made the right way at the right temperature, when it's sliced and you come at the second and third day and a sandwich, bruh. Woo, buddy.
Yeah, I got to go with the turkey. I like the breast meat, the turkey, gotta be with the stuffing and the macaroni and cheese. It gotta be that sharp cheese too. It gotta be that cheese make your taste buds curl up in your mouth. Oh yeah.
It's got to be burnt on top. It ain't real, bro.
No, it ain't real.
On top, it ain't real.
On the side, you get that corner.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Corner piece. Oh man. Oh, and grandma used to make this blueberry cobbler. I can never make it, and I would always get the corner piece. There's at least a corner for me. Blueberry cobbler.
Man.
Yeah.
They got another one they make here. I guess it's called 7-Up cake, bro.
Oh yeah.
Man.
There was a place up here I never made. I got the recipe. I'm at the tackle one time, but it was a spot up here. They went out of business not too long ago, and the sister made banana pudding cake.
Woo!
Bro, I mean, I should buy $35, make the whole cake for me. I don't want slices though. Banana pudding cake.
Oh, that's
man.
Oh, wow. We got such stuff. I'm getting hungry.